So within the DADman software, let's take a closer look at the patch bay that is the interface to routing within the matrix. If we take a look here, you can see that the inputs and the outputs show up. So those reflect the hardware that are populated into the unit. Now, the top level, I can actually see a thumbnail representation of the patching, and when I click, it's going to explode to show me more detail about those particular connected patches. Now let's take a look at the I/O that's in this particular interface. You can see I've got an A to D card installed, and that is either line level or mic pre inputs and 8 channels, and you can see those are actually labeled here. Now I also have indication of the sample rate lock and the clock status on all those inputs and all those outputs. Now below the A to D, I have AES EBU, and we talked about 16 channels of AES on the back of the chassis, which I can patch and route. I have Pro Tools HD1 and HD2. Those are each 32-channel Digilink connections that are able to connect, again, to either 2 Pro Tools rigs or, for example, 64 channels into one HDX system. Below that, I have the 64 channels of coaxial MADI on the chassis, which I can see is patched currently, as well as some optional dual-head MADI cards, which are reflected here, MADI Module 1 and 2. Lastly, the Dante audio option is installed, and that's allowing me to patch anything over the Dante network, either from applications on my laptop here or anything that I have in the studio, including some of the RedNet stuff that we talked about earlier. Now, if we take a closer look at the patches, I can see not only the sample rate status, but also full PPM metering on all of the inputs and all the outputs on whatever I click on. So right now, on the input tab, I'm looking at Dante IP audio, and then if we want to go up to, let's say, Pro Tools HD2, now I'm looking at HD2 as the destination. So let's just do a simple patch here and show you how to connect some routing. So I'm going to take the line level or mic pre-level inputs, the A to D, and I'm going to click on that. We're going to route that to Pro Tools. So simply go A to D as the input, Pro Tools HD1, which is our HD native system, as the output, and I can simply come up here and click and make a one-to-one patch between those inputs and those outputs. Now, if I wanted to come in here and make more specific labeling on these, I could certainly do that, and the beauty of that is that that's all stored directly in the hardware, so next time I come back to the box, all my labels are preserved. Let's say I want to take those same A to D inputs and actually patch those simultaneously to Dante. All I've got to do is keep my input as A to D, and then change my output to Dante and make a similar patch that we did before. So now those mic preamps are going simultaneously to my Pro Tools 1, which is HD native, as well as being sent to the Dante network that I could collect, for example, on a different DAW.